Probably a lot better than what they did this street.
What's that?
I think this would be a lot better than Main Street.
Well,
Yeah. Our TV mom. How come your mom's here? She's in Portugal. Thank you.
Oh no, it's not 'cause of that.
no. Whoa, I turned around, there's a lot more people in here.
Oh, yeah, you can hear your mama.
So we like it.
She is?
That's good, there we go. You gotta show me the place. We have to show Jeff this place. So how is everybody, like, do we do 5-minute pass start? Because I'm one of those punctual people, you know? So but it's up to you guys. I don't know if you have people outside circling the building or, you know, trying to come in, so. Want to do it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So normally when I'm in a room, I stand, but I feel like we're kind of a small room, and I think sitting might be, but I'm gonna end up standing anyway, just so you know. Okay. I already know I am. So I think I pretty much met everyone. Are you using 2 phones at once? Is that what I'm seeing?
That's multitasking.
That is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
she actually had both going too. Okay, that's pretty impressive. Okay, so anyway, hi everybody. My name is Greg DiCristofaro, and I'm the Business Development Manager for Homebridge Financial. I work with Jeff. Oh, I thought that was going to be Jeff coming around the corner, but it is not. So, Jeff, where are you?
He's on the phone.
Of course he is. That's what Jeff always is. Okay. You all know Jeff. How many of you don't know Jeff? You all know him? Then we don't. Okay. You saw him, right? That's all we need to know about Jeff. So anyway, I'm the Business Development Manager for Homebridge Financial, and I'm a realtor. Okay. I don't want anybody to think that we brought in a mortgage broker to try to teach you guys how to sell real estate or anything like that. We don't do that. In fact, the whole reason they hired me was because they wanted a top producing realtor to be able to go in and work with real estate offices to say, look, you know what? We want to add more value. We want to add value to what we do. So let's find a realtor to work with the realtors. What a great idea, right? You know, we want to work with more realtors. Let's find out what the realtors are thinking. So they were looking for somebody who had a history in sales and in training, which is what I have. And I'm going to tell you about my career in just a second. And basically, my job is to come in here and try to get business for Jeff. Okay, because I'm going to make this as straightforward as I possibly can for 2 reasons, okay? My job is to try to help get Jeff loans. And I do that because, well, number 1, it's my job, and number 2, it's how I get paid. Okay? I'm going to ask all of you for a card, or at least name, phone number, and email address on a piece of paper if you don't have a card with you. And then what happens is if any of you give Jeff a loan, I get a little bit of money, Jeff gets paid, and then when I get paid, the more you're going to see me because I like getting paid. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
I do this for 2 reasons. 1 is so I can make money, and number 2 is because I want to make an example. Do you see how I made it perfectly clear why I'm here? In other words, most people don't understand how I get paid unless I tell you how I get paid. Anybody see where I'm going here with this? And by the way, don't forget to put your phone on vibrate.
That's an example.
I like to teach by example, you see, so sorry about that, everyone. But here's the thing, I don't want you to be secret about it because this is how you need your friends, your family, your neighbors, your past clients. You need them to understand just as clearly how you get paid as important it is for Jeff and I to understand how we get paid. So I want it to be an example. This is one time when you can't be shy. You can't be shy. You need to make sure that everybody that you know not only knows that you sell real estate, but they know that you work by referral. Does that make sense? So I start the class and I end the class with a very straightforward, I'm here to get Jeff loans because that's how we get paid. And you have to have that mindset in your own life. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my career. Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you? I'm going to tell you a little bit about my career, okay? So I started out selling real estate in about the very end of 1997. And in 1998, actually it was right about now, it was a little bit later, literally the end of November, after Thanksgiving, I started selling real estate in 97. In 98, I sold 33 houses. And in 1999, I sold 60, and then I never sold less than 100 after that. My average was, after that, was about 120 a year, and my best year was about 145. And there were 2 of us doing it. It was myself and my administrator, John. Well, John was my bar, that's true. John was my bar back. I was a nightclub manager before I got into real estate. And John was my bar back, and I got really busy really fast, and I needed some help. So you call the person that you relied on at your previous job, and Oddly enough, the two skills translated well because he was a great assistant for me. So basically, I sold a lot of houses, and then as time goes on, you can imagine when there's only two people doing it, and John eventually decided to go on, to his career, he finished college and whatnot. So it was just me, and I was like, you know what, I'm really liking the training, because what was happening was, I worked in a small independent office, and more and more, the owner was relying on me to train new agents and try to get people more productive and whatnot, which is hard to do, but I liked it, I enjoyed doing it, and eventually I said, you know what, I think I want to be one of those national speakers, one of those guys who goes out and gets paid thousands of dollars a day and then goes home. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to.
Don't ever believe what's that.
You actually want to do that.
That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be great. I have to admit, it was fun. It wasn't bad. But here's how it really works. You go out, you develop a course, you go out and you start teaching the course around the country. You have to sell it yourself, and you have to get yourself there, and then you teach the course, and you get back home and you sell the next one. And that's what I was doing. And then I went to work for one of the major franchises. Okay, I brokered 3 huge real estate offices. I skipped this step, by the way. I brokered 3 really big real estate offices with, offices where transactions were minimum. The smallest of the 3 was about 1,500 transactions a year. So they were big offices. And then from there, I became a national speaker for that company. And that was okay. That wasn't so bad because they were getting me the bookings and stuff. Eventually, things change at the big companies, and I moved on. I went off on my own. And for 3 years, I was out selling my own lead generation course, which today, what you're really going to hear is sort of the beginning of that course, okay? It really caught fire. I was teaching that around the country, and eventually, I just couldn't do the travel anymore. I literally took everything I owned and I put it in storage, and I lived on the road because it was a 5-part course. So I would come to an area and I'd teach in your office on Monday, yours on Tuesday, and I would be there for 5 days a week, and then in 5 weeks I'd throw everything in the car and move on to the next city, Ohio, or wherever I was going next. It was brutal. I was 40 years old, and I didn't have a home address. I was having mail sent to my mother's house. Okay. So then came Homebridge. Homebridge came along and told me that they were looking for somebody to do this. So that's the history. So I've been doing this now for 4 years. 3 years before that, I was coaching on my own. 2 years before that, while I was kind of selling real estate managing and regional training at the same time. So I've kind of seen this industry from pretty much every angle that you can see it in. I've seen every real estate model that there is. I've worked in every part of the country, so I have a kind of a good roundabout knowledge of what's going on in the industry. Even though I don't sell anymore, okay, it doesn't matter for me because I teach the basics, because I think that's what our industry is missing. And the name of this course is Cure Your Real Estate ADD, like Attention Deficit Disorder, because whether we want to admit it or not, we all have it. And what I mean by attention deficit disorder or real estate is this: we are always out looking to buy the next latest and greatest tool. I've been waiting for somebody to do that. The next latest and greatest tool that's going to make us all of our money. Okay, so there's always the hot tool out there. Right now I'm hearing it's Brivity. Who's heard of Brivity? Hasn't gotten, okay. Brivity is kind of like what they're calling the answer to Zillow. Before Brivity, it was, of course, Zillow. Before Zillow, it was blogs. Before blogs, it was, there's all these little tools, like who's heard of BombBomb, for example? Okay, BombBomb, good tool, but it's not going to make you any more money. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
It's not going to make you any more money, but it's a nice little tool. By the way, for those of you who don't know what BombBomb is, it's a video platform, so you can send out video emails to people. And boy, when you take a seminar with the BombBomb people, when you leave there, whew, I am going to kill it next year, because I'm going to buy this, I'm going to send everybody video emails, and my business is just going to explode. And then you get out and you're like, wait a minute, what just happened? You know what I mean? I like to start things off. I'm going to jump into the actual course. I like to start off, there's a company. Okay, I hope no one here is using this because I really like to make fun of it. And if you are, you can't make fun of it, okay? Who's heard of Happy Grasshopper?
Yeah, we all heard of it.
You've heard of it? Anybody here using it?
No.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. All right, let's talk about Happy Grasshopper. Okay, now, Happy Grasshopper to me is a perfect example of, I think, what's going awry in our industry. Happy Grasshopper, when they first came out, okay, I was at a convention, and I'd like to wander through the convention. and, you know, see what's out there. And I saw this little 6-foot table, a little guy in front of it with a little banner that said Happy Grasshopper, and that's all it was. So I walked up to him and I said, what do you do? And his answer to me, this was, had to be at least 8-9 years ago. He said to me, I still remember it like it was yesterday, I send happy emails.
Yay.
How do you respond to that? And he stopped. He didn't say another word. I was like, okay. I said, can you explain further? And he said, now remember, I'm a productivity coach. And my biggest fight, my biggest challenge every day, who's responsible for training here? Okay, kind of, all right. So for the people who do the training, you're going to immediately relate to what I'm saying. My biggest challenge, my biggest adversary in training isn't training, it's getting the realtors over their limiting beliefs and their negative mindsets. Oh, I can't make phone calls, I'm going to bother people. You're not worried about bothering people, you're worried about bothering you. It's not the person receiving the call that's bothered, it's the person that's making it that's bothered. You see what I'm saying? And when we don't get out of the way of our own limiting beliefs, most of us never make our way through this industry. We just don't make it. So I don't like limiting beliefs. That's the hardest part of my job. So I'm standing here in front of this poor guy who has no idea who I am or what I do, and he says to me, well, I said, what is it, what do you mean? What are happy emails? He said, well, you know the people in the other room, this is what they're doing the exhibit, what they're doing the actual expo, the training, the motivational stuff. He says, you know how they're all in there telling you, you need to be calling everybody you know and asking them for business? And I said, yeah. And he says, well, you know as well as I do that nobody wants you to do that because you're bothering them, right? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, yeah, okay, right? I still want to know what this guy does. So I said, yeah, okay. And he says, what I do is I send happy emails. He said, every email I send is a very friendly tone. It's text only. It's only about 2 or 3 lines. And here's the best part of all. I said, what's that? He says, it doesn't mention real estate at all. In fact, he said, this is true. In fact, I don't even want you to send it from your real estate email address. And there was more silence, because now I'm trying to process how this can be good in any way, shape, or form. And I said, and how much is this? He says, $20 a month. Because here's one thing we know about realtors. We will pay $20 a month for anything if somebody even just tells us we don't have to make a phone call. Here's my $20, sign me up, right? That's what we do. But this is the problem with our industry. We have too many other industries buying their way into it with promises that you don't have to make your phone calls anymore. Does this make sense to everybody? So here's what this guy did. So what he did was, I said to myself, this guy, he's not even anybody I'm going to worry about because he's not going to be around in a couple of months. He just won't be here. A year later, I walked into the exhibit again, and this is a true story. I walked into the exhibit again, and there he is. He doesn't have one 6-foot table anymore. He's got the 4 corner booths. Wow. He's turned it into a room. He's got a banner that's a circular banner that's rotating that says Happy Grasshopper on it. He's got these girls throwing t-shirts to people. And I'm sitting here now, I'm standing at the next booth watching this, and I'm like, how could I have been this wrong? Am I like, is everything I've ever learned about real estate this wrong? How can this be? How can this guy be this busy? And there were people all over his booth. What is going on here, right? I can't for the life of me figure out how this guy is doing it because his product, can we all agree his product makes no sense?
Yeah.
You can say, it's all right, I know the camera's on, but you can say, it's all right, his product makes no sense. So anyway, and I'm watching, and I realized something, and it really bothered me, and about half a day into it, I realized something. Just because he's busy doesn't mean the product is working. It just means people like the story. BombBomb, at one point, you couldn't turn a corner without seeing somebody using or talking about BombBomb, the video platform that we were talking about. And that's what was going on there. I said, let's see how he's doing a year from now. Well, a year later, he wasn't even at the exhibit. And I went to his website, because I'm just a curious guy like that. Year 3, his website had completely changed. All of a sudden, he was just one of those other drip companies that just, here's a 24, 30 emails, something like that. I'll send them out for you, all real estate related. He had completely changed his tune because like most of these products that we kind of have to watch out for, like most of these products, what realtors discover is, yes, I'm willing to try it because it's only a few bucks. But once it doesn't work for a while, and unfortunately, once we remember that we're paying for it, right? Because that's another thing that happens. Once we remember that we're paying for it, we get rid of it. We get rid of it. And these guys generally have a 1 to 2 year ride. And that's why the real estate ADD, there's no one particular product that we can focus on. Real estate ADD is the people who are coming into our real estate lives. They've probably never sold real estate a day in their life, and they're going to tell us how to make more money selling real estate. You understand? And you have to understand where most of these companies are coming from, or at least some of them are coming from, they're not worried about you making money, they're worried about them making money, okay? And you wonder, how does this happen? And the way it happens is because they're the ones out there talking. They're the ones out there doing the training. They'll come out there and they will teach you how to make money in real estate. What they're really teaching you is, this is why I need your product. Okay, when I was new to it, it's like you have something.
Oh no.
Oh, there's just an ad, okay.
No, it's like when people that never sold real estate try to tell you and coach you,
All the time.
and yet they haven't sold anything in their life, but they charge you a lot of money for it.
Of course they do. It adds up. See, they don't charge you a lot. That's what they charge you monthly. Have you ever noticed there's nothing in real estate that you can just buy anymore? Everything's a subscription now. Have you noticed that? They can just keep taking money over and over from you. Yes.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Why was that booth so busy again?
He just was marketing the heck out of it. He was
Okay.
telling people you don't have to make
It didn't do
phone calls.
anything though.
No, because like I said, he had a good story though. Bomb had a good story.
Right.
No, there are certain products. When I was new to real estate, Hobbs Herb. You guys have heard of Hobbs Herb, probably. They're a huge marketing firm, and they specialize in real estate. And what they do is, the top teams, they'll brand you, which is another thing we have to be a little bit careful of. Okay, branding is expensive. Please don't forget that. Whenever you walk into a class and somebody tells you to brand yourself, very, very, very expensive to brand yourself, okay? But again, these are marketing people. Of course they're gonna tell you to brand yourself. So Hobbs Herb comes in and basically convinces you that you have to, every single thing you have to do, that you do has to have the same look. It all has to be in print, right? And if you do this over and over again, it's a form of marketing and you're gonna get busy. Well, here's the problem. Where are you supposed to make the money to do the branding that's going to make you busy? It's backwards. It's backwards, okay? So what they do is they'll come in and they will give you the story, tell you why you need to do something, and the next thing you know, you're out there doing it, and then 6 months later, you're off doing something else. I'm going to give you an example. How many people here have set up a Facebook business page? How many of you still use it? There is a huge graveyard of Facebook business pages out there. Now, I'm not knocking, don't get me wrong, okay? There is use for Facebook and stuff like that, don't get me wrong. But my point is, there was a time, actually, Facebook is actually on its second run for realtors. The first run came 8, 9 years ago, I think, when you couldn't even make your own Facebook page. You had to pay somebody to do it, okay? This is Facebook's second time around. And basically, when you go, if you take a seminar, a Facebook seminar, like somebody who really knows the social media, you can't wait to get back and use that Facebook page, right? You can't wait to get back, set that thing up, and make all the money that's you're gonna make. Those of you who still use it, honestly, ignore the people you already know. Okay, because there's other things we can do other than, you understand, when you're using Facebook to reach out to the people you already know, you're basically just doing what you're supposed to be doing anyway, and you can do it through different media. How many people that you don't know are you selling houses to for your Facebook business page? Enough to make a living?
Hell no.
Right? I mean, you can make money, don't get me wrong, but probably not enough to make a living. How are you using yours?
I don't even have to get a call.
How are you doing with it, if you don't mind me asking?
We marketed we market our listing, we market open houses. Actually, it's having pretty good results.
Pretty good. You want to give me like an example, like roughly how many closings Facebook accounts for?
Facebook, no, we never, because we own the form, so we're actually using that to branding, like it's another like branding.
That's it, so using it as a brand name piece,
Yeah.
okay. Right, so basically, again, it's nice, it can help, but you're not gonna make a living off it.
Yeah, no,
How about Zillow? Anybody get buying Zillow leads?
no.
No? Good, that's good, okay? Well, here's the thing, again, I'll come around on Zillow like I come around on Facebook. The bottom line is, I have a friend up in Maine, and she buys $8,000 a month worth of Zillow leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. She buys $8,000 a month worth of Zillow, but here's the thing, she started working with what we're gonna talk about here today, and then she made a lot of money, and she invested some of that money into Zillow leads. You see what I'm saying? And then what happened was, as time went on, she hired buyer agents, and she trained them, and she bought enough leads to feed them, and then when that started making money, she bought enough leads to... The bottom line is, she's spending about $8,000 a month on Zillow leads, and her company dollar return on it's about $14,000. So she's making about $6,000 a month off of these things, but here's the thing. She has about 30 deals pending at any one time. You would think that those deals must be coming from Zillow because she's spending so much on it, but guess what? They're not.
But she's spending more than she's making.
No, she's making, she's
Oh, I
spending
mean,
8, and she's
right.
profiting 6. But you would think out of those 30-something deals that are pending, when you're spending that much money, you would think the majority would be coming from Zillow. It doesn't work that way. See, real estate, we live in a world of low percentage activities. We live in a world of low percentage activities. You need to be doing a lot of little things to make money. You understand? So that's one of the things that she does to make money. We're going to talk about the big things to do to make money soon. But I want to start off the actual, now that I have my little background of what ADD is, I want to ask you all a question. I have 2 leads in my hand. You can only have one of them. I'm saying this to him. What's your first name again? Yeah,
Will.
you. What is it?
Will.
Will, okay. Yeah, because I already know Will's answer. It's this why I'm going to say you can only have one. We'll just say, give me both. I already know it, okay? There's a Will in every room, just so you know, okay? All right. In my left hand, I have a lead from any one of those ADD things. I have it from Zillow, it's from Facebook, from wherever. I don't care. It's one of those leads. In my right hand, I have a referral from an next door neighbor, Jeff, who tells me that his brother is thinking of buying a house. Everybody with me? Which one do you want?
Yeah.
Who was that? The brother. Is there anybody here who'd rather have the Zillow lead? How come? What do you say, Will? Is it free? All right, time to separate. Can you sit between them?
Is the Zillow ad a buyer or a seller?
They're both. That's a very fair question.
Alright,
by the way.
they're both
They're both
buyers.
buyer leads. They're both buyer leads. Okay.
Then
So
something
here's the
about
thing.
it.
Let's think about this for a minute. First of all, by definition, what is a lead in real estate? A lead in real estate is this. A lead is a person who did something to indicate that they may be looking to buy or sell a home. May be looking is the key here. To buy or sell a home, and I have not had what I call the real estate conversation with them yet. What does that mean? I haven't talked to them and said, Will, why are you looking to buy? When are you looking to buy?
Pre-qualified.
Have you been pre-qualified? All of that stuff. I haven't had that. I don't know anything other than Will might be looking to buy or sell a house. That's the definition of a lead. Everybody with me?
Yep.
By that definition, that lead in my left hand, is it a lead?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't talked to them, but they did something by signing up or whatever. They did something to indicate they might be looking to buy or sell a home. Now let's go to the lead in my right hand, the referral from Jeff. Is that a lead? Yeah, again, I didn't talk to them, but they did something. They told Jeff that they're thinking of buying a house. They did something to indicate they're looking to buy or sell a home. So they're both leads. Is this lead more likely to close than this lead? No, it isn't. In fact, it's 50-50. The lead in this hand could be looking and needing to buy a house tomorrow. I'm going to give you an example. On Saturday, I'm leaving town, I'm heading back to Maine. I sold my plow truck last year. We've already gotten 1.5 feet of snow, and we've got another foot coming tomorrow night. The guy at the dealership in Massachusetts doesn't know it yet, but Saturday I'm leaving there with a truck with a plow on it. All right? I am buying a house. He got me through an internet lead. You understand? He's going to hit gold on Saturday. He just doesn't know it yet because I have to buy it on my way home. That's it. Whereas a referral might have been, yeah, I'm going to buy a truck, but next year. You see what I'm saying? So why is it if they're equal, and I don't know which one's actually going to buy and when, why is it we all want this lead? Who can tell me?
Because the connection's stronger.
The connection's stronger, and what does that do for me?
It's less likely to go behind your back and buy another house from someone else.
That's one thing.
But the thing is that if people are looking in this area, they're really not gonna, they're gonna look through Zillow and
Mhm.
stuff like that, but then they're eventually gonna ask their friend, hey, you got a good guy, you got a good girl, you
Well,
got a
that's
good
what
real estate agent.
that's what
They're
I'm
not
looking for.
desperate, they're not like, oh, I'm gonna buy a house, I'm gonna go with the first agent online.
Right.
It just rarely ever happens.
Okay. So here's the thing. One of the reasons that we want the referral, one of the reasons we want the referral lead is so that we can make sure that there's going to be some loyalty, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a connection. Jeff is our connection. All right. Here's the big reason. See, I like that, but you did the typical realtor answer. The typical realtor answer is this: there's 4 steps to real estate. Step 1, get the lead. Step 2, step 3, sign the contract. And step 4, make the sale. That's how a realtor does it, right there. Anybody here watch South Park? Did you ever see the episode where the elves were stealing the socks? The elves were stealing socks, and the kids caught the elves, and they said, why are you stealing socks? They said, step 1, steal socks. Step 3, make lots of money. What's step 2? Hey, what's step 2? And nobody knew what step 2 was, right? That's how we do it in real estate. Will, thank you for saying what you said. You want to capture the lead, you want to make the sale. You want to sign the contract and make the sale. There's a huge, important step that we don't give any thought to. What's that?
Follow-up.
Conversion, lead follow-up, exactly. A lead is nothing if we don't convert it. Everybody with me? So here's the deal. Do you think we capture enough leads as an industry? By the way, let me give you a quick statistic in case you're not sure. In 2016, there were 40 times more buyer leads sold in America than houses. So with that in mind, 40 times more buyer leads than houses sold in 2016. Do you think we capture enough leads as an industry?
Yes.
Yes. What do you think the real problem is these days?
Those 40,000 leads don't literally transact to everyone's buying a house.
Conversion.
Right.
That's right. Well, the 40,000, right.
And
they're all
only
buying a house.
10,000 people buying a house and
Well, it's 20,000. According to NAR, half of
Okay.
people buy a house, right? But the bottom line is, capturing the lead is not the problem. Converting the lead is the problem. Okay? Now, let's go back to why do we all want this lead, the referral lead, instead of this lead? You understand? Now do you see why we all want this lead? This lead is hard as heck to convert. In fact, I only have a 50% chance of converting it, and it's going to take between 8 and 10 phone calls to make that conversion. This lead, however, I'm going to convert about 80% of the time, and it takes 1 to 2 calls to convert it. It's way easier to convert a referral lead than a lead from any of those real estate ADD places. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So, if we all agree that we want the referral lead, why are we spending our time, most of us anyway, spending our time in that world of having nets, that world of the real estate ADD, the world of the people waving their hands that may or may not buy a house? Who can tell me why we're doing it?
Because we're always looking for the next thing that's gonna help us to be more productive.
Yeah, because we want to be productive, we don't really know. Let me ask you this, where do you get your referral leads? How do you get more of them? We already get them. How do you make more referral leads?
Steal them from Rapid.
What'd you say?
I steal my leads from Rapid.
Okay, that's not referral lead, that's a stolen lead. Okay? Jeff, keep an eye on him. As soon as his hands drop out of sight. Yeah. Where do we get more referral leads? Seriously, because honestly, what would you rather have? If I had, I'll tell you what, I'll take 1 referral lead over 10 internet leads. How about you?
Yeah.
Will you? I will. Without a question or a doubt, I will. Okay? So where do we get more referral leads?
Past clients.
Yeah. See, this is the problem. When I asked that question, I met with mostly silence. You see what I'm saying? I met with mostly silence. The reason that we're taking all these other leads and paying for them is simply because we don't know where to get referral leads. We don't know how to get referral leads. Does that make sense? So basically, what I want to tell you is this. There are, in my database is constructed of 4 types of people. And by the way, if you don't have a database, you need one. And when I say database, I don't mean your phone. Okay, you know, I do presentations, I'm in big rooms, you know, and I'll say to the people, how many people do you have in a database? And almost every hand in the room goes up. And then I say, not including your phone, and almost every hand in the room goes back down again. And then I say, not including a spreadsheet, and more hands go down. Not including your Outlook, more hands go down. A database is a tool that you can use to communicate with people. The database has one purpose and one purpose only. Its purpose is to systematically communicate with people for the sole purpose of achieving top of mind. Here's what top of mind means. When somebody thinks of real estate, they need to think of me first. They're driving down the street, they see a sign down the road, they're walking down the road, they see a for sale sign. You need to pop into their heads. Does this make sense to everybody? And that's only half the battle. The other half is they need to know that you work by referral. What did I start the class off saying? Why am I here? To get. I was going to have to say it about 6 more times if you didn't say that, and so you saved everybody. Yeah, I'm here to get Jeff business, okay? So now I'm going to need you guys, see, it's Jeff's job to make sure when you guys think, all right, I need a loan officer, you guys need to think of him first. That's his job. My job is to remind you guys that, just like you, he works by referral. He works by referral. You see what I'm saying? So basically, that's how we're going to get our referral business, okay? Now, my database, which is made specifically to communicate with people for top of mind, has 4 types of people in it. First, we know that the world is filled with people we haven't met and people that we have met, okay? Those are the main 2 types of people. Either I know you or I don't know you. We've had the real estate conversation, or I don't know you. Fair enough? There's also 2 types of ways to do business. There is the one that we generally work with. I'm sorry, that's wrong. I'm just going to cross out. The one that we generally work with, which is what I call hand waivers. Okay? And the hand waivers are people who are doing this. They say, hey, I'm thinking of buying or selling a house. You know, they signed up on a website. They called you on a yard sign. They showed up at your open house. Basically, all of those ADD sources are places that we can get the hand waivers. These are people that are thinking about buying a house. They might or might not buy a house. The other type is called targets. The definition of a target is this is a person who has done nothing to indicate to me that they're looking to buy a house, but I have targeted them for the sole purpose of getting top of mind. Really a good thing you're here. Top of mind, okay? I am going to stay in touch with this person until I get top of mind, because what's top of mind going to get me? Referrals and business. You understand? Referrals and business. That's what I'm going to get. So basically, my database is made up of 4 types of people. A hand waiver that I have not met is called a lead. We know that, right? We all know that's a lead. When I meet that hand waiver, see, remember I said part 1 is lead, step 2 is conversion? When I convert, here's what I mean. There are many different definitions of the word conversion, aren't there? Like when I say conversion, what do you think? Build rapport. Other people think make a sale. Other people think get a buyer contract or a listing contract signed. Here's all conversion is go from haven't met to met. It's to be able to ask them, are you willing to work with me or not? You understand? That's what a conversion is. So basically, I can successfully convert a lead by them telling me to go away. I can successfully convert a lead by them telling me to go away. What do you mean, Greg? How can that possibly be? Because the purpose here is to get a yes or a no. Here's the problem. See this lead category that we all have somewhere in our lives? Maybe it's in a database, maybe it's a list somewhere. That is never meant to be a permanent stopping ground for anyone. It's not a permanent place. When a lead comes in, it's your job to convert that lead, okay, and find out if you can do business with them. Or if you can't do business with them, can I at least stay in touch with you? And if I can't at least stay in touch with you, why are they still in my database? Why are they there? They told me to go away. So basically, remember, converting does not have to mean yes. Converting can be yes or no. But the conversion means I got an answer. This person's not a lead anymore. I went from haven't met to met with this person. I didn't like the answer I got. But congratulations to me, because I converted the lead. Does this make sense to everyone? Is this okay? It's different than what a lot of people are probably gonna tell you. Well, when you get a lead, you put them in your database and you leave them there forever. That's ridiculous, in my opinion. Why would I have a database full of people who already said no to me and said, don't bother me anymore? You know what I mean? It's defeating the purpose. It's defeating the purpose of what I have. So again, when I want to go from a haven't met to a met, right? I want to go from a lead to a prospect. It's a lead to a prospect. The definition of a prospect is a hand waver, right? A person who did something to indicate that they're looking to buy or sell real estate that I have met. In other words, I had the real estate conversation with them. I had the real estate conversation. We talked about what their needs are when they, maybe they didn't say, yes, I will work with you yet, but they didn't say go away. So they're a prospect now. Does that make sense? Okay. Now let's talk about our two types of targets. Our two types of targets. What do you think we call a target? A person that we specifically chose to get top of mind from, that we know, that we already know. What do we call that group of people? People that we know that we want to get top of mind from is our what? Anybody know? Sphere of influence. Very good. And I will tell you right now, whenever I do this, I circle it and I put stars all around it. You know why? This is the place of honor in my database. This is where I ultimately want everyone to be. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Okay, but it's the sphere of influence. The people that I have met, that I have targeted. My goal is to get top of mind from them so that I will get referrals from them. If you want to know where to get more referral business, look no further than the bottom right-hand corner of this chart. That's where your referrals come from. Please don't ever forget it. You want to talk about the basics of real estate? We just hit it. That's the basics of real estate right there. Okay? What do you think? This is the one where I normally would say that Jeff is going to give away a free car, but because you guys are recording, I can't say that because I'm obviously going to renege on it. So, if you have video proof, I can't renege. So, you know, so I'll just ask the question, okay? What do you think we call a group of people that we haven't met that we have targeted for top of mind? Does anybody know what that's called?
A farm.
Ooh, you're good. 2 for 2. Jeff, you would have totally owed her a car because she nailed it. Usually I have to give a clue, and that's how I get out of it. That's how I weasel my way out of it, okay? But that's pretty good. Yeah, it's a farm. Does anybody here not know what a farm is? Y'all know? Okay, good. So basically, see this? 1, 2, 3, that's it. Those are the 4 types of people that go into my database. As soon as you have a database that has like I used to have like 50, 60 different types of people in it, you're sunk. You keep it to 40, you can manage it. You bring it up to 50 or 60, you're in trouble. You bring it up to 10, you're in trouble. There's only 4 types of people out there. Think about it. There's you either met them or you haven't. They're either a hand wave or a target. What else is there? There's nothing else. Okay, this is what it is. And basically, our main focus is going to be on the sphere of influence. Does this make any sense to everybody? Okay. So basically, we know that we have a lead, we have to convert the lead, and again, there's 3 ways that I can successfully convert a lead. The first way is they go from lead to prospect. Yes, I'd like to talk to you, right? No problem there. Then, hopefully, they go from prospect to client, where they become a member of my sphere of influence. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, that's the first and most desirable way for us to capture a lead. The lead becomes a prospect. The prospect says, yes, I'll work with you. They become a past client, which is a member of your sphere of influence. Make sense? The second best way is the lead says to you, you know what, Greg, I decided I'm not buying a house after all, but you're a good guy, and I will refer to you. If I ever decide to buy a house, I'm going to call you. And if I know anybody who's looking to buy or sell, I'm going to call you. What do you think you should do with that person? Where should you move them in your database? Right to sphere of influence. Because now it becomes your job to make sure they don't forget you. Because what if it's 2 years before they're ready to buy a house? You want to hear a crazy stat? You've probably heard this stat. I think it needs to be said all the time, over and over. You know, every year, National Association of Realtors puts out a buyer and seller guide. You all know that? They'll get a free copy of it. And if you go and look, when they talk to you, the section where they interview people who have used a realtor before, in this particular year, used another one, they said, when you used your previous realtor, were you satisfied? And almost 90% of them every year say, yes, I was satisfied with my realtor. Good for us, right? We do a good job once we have a customer with us, right? So then they said, did you use that previous realtor? Guess what percentage of them used the previous realtor that they said did a good job? Take a guess. Don't guess it. The camera rolling. Oh, did you say none or no?
No.
You said no. See, he's not guessing. He's not going on record with anything. Who wants to guess?
30%?
You would think it'd be somewhere around 30, and that'd be pretty insulting, wouldn't it? Right? That's pretty bad. If only 30%, 80% of them like their realtor, and only 30% of them actually call that realtor, would be pretty bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's 11%.
Just at a 10.
11%. Yeah, he gives the answer right after I say
No.
I knew it was going to be that.
I was gonna say it also.
You got this one answering afterwards, and this one just saying no. So anyway, it's 11%, and of course they ask why. They lost touch.
Yeah.
They lost touch with each other. And think of all the business that we look at. Is there anybody here who's willing to admit, other than me, that you've lost touch with past clients that you never should have lost touch with? It's a huge mistake. Huge mistake, okay? So basically, when you get a lead, you've got to put them in the sphere of influence so that we can communicate with them so that they don't forget us. Does that make sense? And of course, the third way of converting a lead is to delete them right out of the database when they tell you to. When they tell you, look, no, I'm all set, and they don't say you're a great guy, I'm going to refer business to you, guess what? It's time for them to go. But here's the thing, I have a friend, this is, again, true story. He's been selling real estate for 30 years. He used Top Producer. He's like an example of everything I'm talking about. Real estate ADD, realtors never getting rid of a monthly product because it's only a little bit of money every month. Who here knows what Top Producer is? Okay, it's a CRM, it's a database program. It's been around for a very long time. It used to be the industry standard, but it's actually a very complicated program to use. It tries to do 150 different things. It can be a little difficult to use. And my friend Dean, who, like I said, has been a realtor for over 30 years, has had Top Producer for about 20 years. 20 years he's given them, him, his administrator, and at least 2 buyer agent accounts, 4 accounts a month for the last 20 years he's been given a Top Producer. I can't even imagine how much money that is. He admitted to me he uses it for one thing and one thing only. He stores phone numbers in there. Now, he's paying at least $25 a month for each of those connections. So he's paying $100 a month for 20 years at a minimum for a phone book. And I kept saying to him, Dean, you gotta get rid of this, you gotta get rid of this. And it took me a long time, and he went and took my course, so the one that this one kind of leads to. He went and took my course, and he's like, you're right, I gotta get rid of it because mine doesn't do any of that. I'm like, I know, so I've been telling you. So we got together, I went into his office one day, and we sat down and we closed the door, and he just proudly, he's got this big smile. He goes, look, 12,000 leads. Like all proud of himself. And I said, Dean, I said, you realize what you're telling me is you failed to convert 12,000 times in your career. And the smile went away because he realized we're not trying to collect leads. That's not our job. Our job isn't to collect leads, our job is to convert leads. Here's the problem. When I got started in real estate, it was lead generate, lead generate, lead generate, lead generate. Get as many leads as you possibly can, and business will happen. Who has ever seen this little graphic? And by the way, I'm a terrible artist. The funnel, very good. He doesn't say much, but when he does, right up there with you. This is the funnel. This is what they call the lead generation funnel. What did you say? Anyway, this is the lead generation funnel, and the idea was this: you capture as many leads as you possibly can. Capture as many leads as you can, right? You just keep capturing it, you keep throwing them in the funnel, and eventually, you know what's going to happen? Business is just going to magically start falling out the bottom. Well, guess what? That's not true. Look at it this way. Leads are like a solid. You cannot, you put leads, you put a solid into a funnel, and they don't funnel through, they fall off. You see what I'm saying? It falls out the sides. The only way you're going to push anything through is to actually push it through the funnel. Lead conversion is pushing it through the funnel. You understand? We spend so much time capturing leads. Dean's been doing it for 30 years. He's an old school realtor. He was taught, you just capture as many leads as you can, and business happens. Does it, by the way? Business happens. You know why? You know why business happens? It happens because you're talking to people about real estate, and they say to you, oh, funny that you mentioned this. My wife and I were just talking about selling our house. That's why it happens. But by capturing those leads and putting them in the funnel, business doesn't just fall off the other side. Does everybody understand that? Leads have to be converted. So Dean just captured and collected 12,000 leads, and he says to me, well, I've been emailing them all every month. And I was like, Dean, no, you haven't. Did you know that top producer will only send 5,000 emails a month? He's like, really? I said, yes. So, which 5,000 are you getting at? I have no idea. But the bottom line is Dean had 12,000 leads that he never bothered to convert. Like I told him, the 3 ways to convert: prospect, sphere of influence, or out. You need to hear yes or no. Capturing a lead without conversion is useless. Does this make sense to everyone? I do a nice little 1-hour class on how to convert more leads. We can do that sometime if you guys want me back. We'll see. Okay, not done yet. I can still upset everybody. You never know. I'm feeling okay so far, but I do have kind of a big mouth. So. All right, everybody good with this so far? I want to show you something now. Now that we have kind of a general idea of what a database should look like, the power of the sphere of influence. By the way, who's in your sphere of influence? I should have done this earlier, I apologize. Who is in your sphere of influence? Past clients, right? Who else? Relatives? Friends and family, yeah? So you look like you're about to say something.
Well, you're like, your kids,
Yeah,
the school,
right, the parents of your kids.
parents, all that.
Acquaintances. Yeah.
The
So
door
basically,
knockers that respond,
what is it?
the door knockers that respond, the mailers that respond.
Well, no, those aren't your sphere of influence.
Oh no?
No, they could become part of your sphere, but those are actually leads that hopefully become prospects, right? And then if you get the
Yeah,
positive
the ones that
response,
respond to you. the
right,
ones that are
eventually,
interested.
once they're done being a client, or once they're, once they're done being a prospect, yes, absolutely, yeah, very good, very good. So basically, here's what I say in my spheres: it's my family, my friends, my neighbors, my past clients, people I went to high school with, people I went to college with, people I've worked with in my past jobs, okay? And it's acquaintances. By acquaintances, I mean, like I said, my doctor, the receptionist, the girl who serves me my coffee every morning, right? Those are all people that belong in my sphere of influence, okay? And what I want everybody to understand is if you take everybody you know, notice I didn't just say just take your friends, take everyone you know and you put them into a database and you systematically communicate with them a very set amount of times every year, you're going to get what we call top of mind from those people. And when you get top of mind, something very, very powerful happens. You get people start calling you with referrals. You're going to get a phone call that says, hey, Will, my name is Greg, and my friend Jeff told me to give you a call. He said you're a good realtor. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going to start happening. Well, yeah, but you're not going to tell them that. Let them figure it out while you're selling them a house. That's half the fun. Okay. So basically, are we the only lead generation industry there is being realtors? No, there's lots of them out there. And do you think that most of these huge companies are doing research on all of this?
Absolutely.
Lots and lots of it. Baylor University actually has a school of real estate. You can actually get a major in real estate at Baylor University. How about that?
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I just saw that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure there's others, but that's the one that sticks out to me. Baylor's done a lot of research on lead generation and lead conversion. And what they have found is this: sphere of influence, the reason I have all these stars around it, is the fastest and best way to get business. See, here's the thing. When you have your hand wavers and your targets, we want to focus on the hand wavers because these are the people that are indicating that they might want to buy or sell real estate. It makes sense, but here's the thing. With Baylor and pretty much, and me, I will tell you as a person who's done it, okay? It's the targets that are making me my money. In fact, 70 to 80% at a minimum of your business comes from your sphere of influence, not from all of those hand wavers that are out there. Okay? In fact, Baylor University says if you can get top of mind from 6 people, in other words, when I say top of mind, literally when they think of real estate, they think of you. Every year you will either get one referral or one piece of business from one of those 6 people. Now, I'm sorry? Just one, from every 6. Now, here's the thing, this is where the limiting beliefs and negative mindsets start to set in. We stop and we say, oh yeah, if it was only that easy. I get top of mind from 6 people, I do a deal. I wish. Here's what I'm gonna ask, first of all, I'm not here to change anybody's mind on anything. I can't change anybody's limiting beliefs, but let me ask you this. Do you think that if you spend your time making sure that everyone you know knows that you sell real estate and knows that you work by referral, do you think that you will make more or less money next year? What's everybody else think?
I don't. Yeah, more.
Of course! How could you not? I can't believe I have to pull that out of people. If everybody you know knows that you sell real estate and that you work by referral, how could you not do more business next year? Unless everybody just hates you. This is why Jeff brings me in here, okay? You're supposed to like me. I don't know how many times Jeff is going to come with me. How are we doing, Jeff? Is this our last? Is this our last one?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're done.
He knows I kid. I kid because I love. Okay. So anyway, you're gonna do more if everybody that you know knows this. Okay. So basically, even if you don't believe in the 1 in 6, that's fine by me. But do understand, you're gonna do more business. So why wouldn't you be doing this? Why wouldn't you be doing this? Is this making sense to everybody? Okay. I'm gonna show you a little chart. I'm gonna delete this if anybody. Not that there's anything really.
Hold on, I'll take a picture.
You want to take a picture of that to see how bad I write and how awful I am?
Doesn't know my camera's broken. Shattered.
You pointed at yourself again, weren't you?
I'm good.
Like I said, there's still time for people to hate me. Okay, I'm going to delete this. I want to show you guys something, okay? Based on what I just said about most of the money is coming from the sphere of influence. Okay, so basically, in real estate, there are 3 different business models that have been, broken up into the hundreds of models that we see today. The first one is called the database model. And that's what I was just talking about. That's where you take everybody you know, you put them into a sphere of influence, you communicate with them a specific number of times, you get top of mind, and they give you business. Now, Garrett, Baylor, will tell you that that's 1 in 6, okay? That'll tell you that it's 1 in 6. Now, I will tell you that I like to use 1 in 10 instead, and I do that for 3 reasons. The first reason is, from when that study was done, people are living in their house a little bit longer now. You guys know how many years people live in their home? 5 to 7. 5 to 7 years, okay? Now that's nationally, I'm not sure exactly what it is in Queens, but 5 to 7 years, okay? Now, it used to be 4 to 6 when the study was done, so if they're living in a house longer, obviously there's a little bit less need for realtors. The second reason I like to use the 1 in 10 model is because it's just easier. If I almost double the actual statistics, it helps people's top limiting beliefs. And the third reason, the real reason, I love easy math. So I'm doing this so that the math is much easier for me. But either way, I'm going to say 1 in 10 instead of 1 out of every 6, okay? And if you don't believe that, let me ask you this. If a person lives in that house for 4 to 6 years, and you know 10 people, right? Let's just say you know 10 people that own a house. If you have top of mind with them, aren't 2 of them going to need a realtor this year? Why is it so quiet? If statistically speaking, and of course, statistically speaking, 4 to 6 years means every 5 years they need a realtor. So if I know 10 people that own a house, 2 of them need a realtor this year, right? Okay? If 2 of them need a realtor this year, and I'm the first realtor that they think of, what are the odds that I'm the one that they're going to call? If I'm top of mind, it's probably almost 100%. Now you may say, they might call other realtors. First of all, most of the buyer agents are not calling other realtors. And again, if we go back to the National Association of Realtor Guide, how many sellers are calling one realtor only? Anybody know? 70%. 70% called one realtor when they listed their house. 89% called no more than 2. So top of mind is the only place to be. If you're not the first person that they think of, you better be the second. And even if you're the second, you only have a sliver of a chance of getting that listing. But this works out to the advantage of people who get top of mind. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? So basically, I'm gonna make that number 1 in 10. And let's just say that I have a database of 200 people, a sphere of influence of 200 people that I get top of mind from. If I'm doing business with 1 out of 10 of them, how many deals is that? 20. What would you say would be the average commission on here, before you split with your office or anything like that? Like, you know, how much commission is generated on one side of the sale? 10 to 15? That's that comfortable? Does that sound right to everybody? There's too much silence in this room. How much are your commissions? 10 grand, sound right?
Yeah. around
Okay, there we go. So if it's 10K per sale, per side, we're gonna generate $200,000 in what we call GCI, gross commission income. That means the commission that's generated on the sale before any splits are given out or any expenses are paid. Make sense? Okay. Now, it's not free to get top of mind. Top of mind has a cost to it, and generally that cost is roughly $1 per person per month. $1 per person per month, okay? So if I have 200 people, that's about $200 per month, times 12, $2,400, let's round that up to $3,000, okay? So if I take $3,000, that leaves $197,000. Now that's not all yours, but I don't talk commissions and things like this, because we have people from different offices and whatnot sometimes. That's how much you're generating in GCI minus what it costs you to get top of mind. Fair enough? Everybody understand that so far? Okay. Now next year, do you still only have 200 people that you have top of mind from, or have you met people over the course of the year? I've met people, okay? Hopefully, right? Hopefully we're adding a person a week, because again, that's our job, is to build our database, get more people to get top of mind, the more people get top of mind from, the more deals we do. So really, you didn't add 50 people to your database. What you did was you added 5 sales to your database. At the same $10,000, now I have $250,000 in GCI. Instead of spending $3,000, let's round up, way up again. Let's say we're spending $4,000, which we're really not. We're actually 2,500 times 12 is what, well, 30, whatever it comes out to, a little bit over 3,000. We'll round it up to 4,000, okay? And now, instead of splitting 197 with your brokerage, you're now splitting 246 with your brokerage. You understand what I'm telling you?
So 250 people?
Yeah, so if you go from 200 people the first year, and each week you add a person, and you get top of mind from them, next year, we're gonna do 25 sales if we're using that 1 in 10 ratio. Right, and like I said, even if you don't believe the 1 in 10, as long as you keep adding people and getting top of mind, you're gonna do more, not less business, right? Okay, so that's model number 1. Any questions there? Okay, model number 2 is what we call the marketing model, and the most common form of marketing is farming, okay? And this, according to the research again at Baylor, is once you get top of mind, you'll do business with 1 out of every 75. Okay, obviously we don't know these people, so we're not going to do as much business. We're not picking up the phone and calling them and things like that. It's not going to work as well, but it's going to be profitable. So let's say I take the same 200 people, and I do business with 1 out of 75, that means I'm going to roughly do just under 3 deals with these 200 people. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. And let's say that we make the same $10,000. That leaves me what do you call it? A gross commission income, a GCI of $30,000. It's still going to cost me $1 per person to market to them. Okay. So I'm going to spend about $3,000. Again, I'm going to round that up to $3,000, leaving me with $27,000 to split with the brokerage. Which one would you all rather have? Think about it. Okay, we see the difference here?
So you're saying that out of 200 people in the marketing, we convert 3?
You're going to convert 1 out of 75. So yeah, if you're doing 200, you'd actually need like 215, 220, but close enough, yeah. Yep. The nice thing about marketing is over time, it just sort of becomes an automatic type of thing. You're spending money instead of time. Okay, are you with me so far? Let's move on to the third model. This is the one that anybody who goes and takes any type of training class now, did anybody go to the NAR convention up in Boston this year? Just happened a couple weeks ago. It's finally up north. Finally had it in the north. It was amazing. And basically, if you were there and you walked through the vendor hall, all you would have seen was people trying to sell you leads, internet leads. Okay, was that?
Damn.
This is all that's out there. Okay, so basically, who knows the internet lead gen model? Oops, internet lead gen. Okay, I keep hitting that top bar. Sorry, that says internet. Trust me. Okay. The internet lead gen model. Who knows what the ratio is for that? Anybody? Remember what I told you at the start of towards the start of the class? There are 40 leads captured for every sale made, every buyer sale. Okay, every buyer side. The internet ratio is 1 in 100. For every 100 leads that are captured, there's one sale. And here's the other thing about that. That doesn't mean if I have 100 leads for the 6 of you, right? That you're each going to close 1. What's going to happen is you're going to close 3, you're going to close 2, you're going to close 1, you 3 are going to close none. Okay, basically the way it works is like this. 1 in 100 is the average. Okay, if you're really good at it, you're 3 out of 100. And if you are the one person that Zillow can point to that done the highest rated lead converter on all of Zillow, 6 out of 100. That would make you literally number 1 in the country. And by the way, this guy has 2 inside sales associates that he's paying a salary of $80,000 a year each to. So to get to that 6 out of 100, you're making one heck of a financial investment to get there. But to be fair, let's do all 3 of those, because you're going to fall somewhere in between. I think most of us are going to fall between 1 and 3. Sorry, most of us are going to fall between 1 and 3. But let's do all 3 and see. So let's take the same number, 200. About 200 leads, okay? And if I do 1 out of 100 and I have 200 leads, I'm going to make 2 sales. If I do 3 out of 100 and I have 200 leads, 6 sales. 6 out of 100 and I have 200 leads, I'll make 12 sales. We'll take the same $10,000. This one is 20K. Right, take the same $10,000. 60K. 120K. Everybody with me? Now, who here believes that you can buy 200 leads in New York City for $3,000? There's not even a chance. I mean, there is no chance of that happening. Who knows how much a lead costs? I know you guys don't buy them, so. How many? $6, you wish. $6 I'd be buying them, okay? Minimum $50 per lead. $50 per lead. Now, but let's just say, just to keep things fair, okay, let's just say that you can buy these leads for $20 a piece. $20 a piece. I'm going to make that a $4,000, I'm hearing myself in an echo, I'm trying to talk lower, a $4,000 investment. Now again, understand, absolutely impossible for this to happen, but I'm trying to keep the numbers as level between the 3 models as possible. So I need you to look at that right column, because it's looking pretty tempting right now. $16,000 here, $56,000 here, and $116,000 here. And that third column can look pretty interesting, but here's what I need you to remember. You're not closing 6 and 100, first of all. And if you are, you're paying a ton of money to do it. And second of all, for all 3 of those, you're not buying those leads for $4,000. I'm giving you what is the absolute best possible case scenario. Does this make sense to everyone? So out of those 3 models up there, which one is the one that you should be focusing on first? The most traditional, the database. And here's another thing I want to talk about. Another statistic. Okay, this is a Rhode Island statistic. Okay, so it's just to that one state, but I think Rhode Island's pretty much like every state when it comes to realtor turnover. The guy who was the president a couple of years ago wanted to do a study on how much turnover there is in real estate. Now, basically in real estate, we say if you can make it 5 years, you have a chance. You're probably going to make a career out of it in 5 years. He wanted to know how many realtors made it 5 years. So he went back, I don't know how far back he went, but when I get into real estate in the late 90s, it was 50%. Only half of us made it 5 years. And I remember the guy who taught me the real estate class, you know, I remember him saying, look at the person beside you, one of you won't be here in 5 years. That was not an encouraging thing to hear, okay? But 50-50 chance, okay, I get it. Now, he did the stat every year, he did it. The realtors who got it in 2012, that was still around in 2017. Unfortunately, it was no longer 50-50. Anybody want to guess? I know you don't. Now he's guessing.
60.
12, 13, very good. Only 13% made it 5 years. You want to know why?
Why?
That right there. See these two columns? You see these two columns? That's real estate ADD. And here's what's happening. Realtors who should be making their money first with that database model, instead of doing that, are buying marketing and then buying internet tools before they're making any money. See, here's what's going on here. That first column, that's your job. That first column is your job. It's what you need to do every day. It's the basics. This is like going to school and learning to add and subtract and multiply and divide. Okay? And then afterwards, you go to high school and college and learn algebra and calculus and all that other stuff. What's happening in real estate right now is instead of realtors doing the basics, they're moving right into these other things. They're not making any money. They're just spending money. And they don't know the basics yet. And they're going out of business. That's what's happening in our industry right now. Well, it's been happening for years, to be honest with you. But that's what's happening. This is why 87% of the realtors aren't making it, because those two columns are leveraging. You leverage, see, when we start in real estate, at least most of us, we start with a lot of time and a little money. And so we spend our time. We prospect. We spend our time, and the more time we're spending, if we're doing it right, we're making more money. So our time is going down and our money is going up. Until eventually, guess what happens? We now have more money than time. That is when you start spending money on those other two things. A very simple rule of real estate is we don't spend money until we're making money. Everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So, can everybody have that wants it? Because I'm gonna erase that. Can you take a picture of that? Got it? Okay. How do we communicate with people? There are two ways that we communicate: marketing and prospecting. Marketing and prospecting. Who can give me an example of marketing?
Mailing,
I'm sorry?
mailing,
Mailing, right? Sending out postcards. What's another example of marketing? Facebook. All social media ads, right? Marketing. What else? Email drip campaigns. What else? Billboards. No, that one's going to be different, right? Billboards. Magazine ads. What is it? Car wraps. Perfect. Marketing is where you take a message and you just put it out there. And you hope that people see it enough so that when they need you, they call you. It's a passive form of getting the word out there. You're waiting for them to come to you. Who can give me an example of prospecting?
door knocking.
Door knocking. Perfect.
Cold calling.
Cold calling. You know what scares me? Those are both great answers. But the first answer I always wish I could hear as a productivity coach would be sphere calls, calling your sphere of influence. The number one way that you make money in real estate is by staying in touch with your sphere of influence. And by picking up the phone and calling them is the ultimate form of prospecting. So calling your sphere, cold calling, and door knocking. What else? Open houses? You guys do open houses? Okay. How about FSBOs and expireds? I know we're coming out of a seller's market right now. FSBOs and expireds probably weren't doing too well for quite a while there. We were in a very long seller's market, weren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, we're coming. Are you guys coming out of it yet?
Yeah.
You coming out of it? Yeah. Okay. So those are all forms of prospecting, and those are all active ways of finding. You're going to them. You're going to people and saying, "Hey, you put yourself in opportunities way. Why do you do the open house? Well, you might be a buyer.
Seller.
Yeah, you're there to sell the house if you can, but we're also there to meet buyers, right?
Oh, what do I mean sellers?
Oh, sellers, you want to meet sellers totally, of
Right.
course. A seller, people don't realize that. Sellers go to open houses too.
It's an interview.
My first listing came from an open house. Okay, because the neighbors will go and see what the competition's house looks like and how much they're selling it for, okay? So yeah, so basically, marketing is being passive, prospecting is being active. Are both effective ways of making more money? Yes. Okay, but there's differences between them. First of all, marketing saves time. We call it casts a wide net. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is very simply, I can send out, let's use a drip campaign, like an email campaign. I can send out a drip campaign to 1 million people as easily as I can send it out to one person. You see what I'm saying? It can save me a lot of time. I can send it to as many or as few people as I want. Whereas prospecting is the opposite. It's a one-on-one activity. It's going to take me a longer time to do it. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Marketing takes a long time to see a return on investment. A long time to see ROI, because you have to see if the message over again, whereas prospecting is a short wait for ROI. Everybody with me? Okay? Here's another big difference. By the way, which one's more effective to get a message across? If I was to cancel today's class, what would be the best way? For me to send an email to all of you and say, hey guys, class is canceled? Or for me to pick up the phone and call you one by one and tell you today's class was canceled? Which one would be more effective?
Call you.
Right, so prospecting is also more effective communication, okay? It's just a more effective way of getting the message across, okay? Here's another big difference. Marketing, when done effectively, is very expensive. Prospecting, when done effectively, is very inexpensive. So let me ask you something. If you're a realtor, and I'm assuming if you're sitting in this room today, you want to make more money in real estate. Is that fair to say? Is anybody here just for the heck of it? No. You want to leave it? Stop by. If we're here to make more money, how do you think we're going to do it? By being passive, saving time, and spending a lot of money, and then waiting a long time to see a return on that money? Or by being active, by going out there one-on-one and looking for business, spending a small amount of money, and seeing a return on it faster? Which one do you think you should be doing? Prospecting. Which one do you think most of us are doing right now? Marketing. Who wants to tell me why?
Because it's easier.
Ah, thank you. God, Will, I love you. I'm so glad you're here. No, Will is wrong once again, everybody. But I was waiting for somebody to say it's easier, because that's what we think. We think, I was like, oh God, nobody's gonna say it, but Will will come my rescue, okay? If not, I was gonna have to have Jeff say it. We say it's easier, okay? And that's what we think, but let me go back to the question I asked you. Which lead would you rather have? The having net that we get from marketing, or the net that we get from our sphere of influence?
The net.
Because it's easier. See, this is the easier lead. So marketing is not easier than prospecting. You know what marketing is? Marketing is more comfortable than prospecting. That's the difference. It is not easier. You're going to capture less leads, they're of a much lower quality, and you're going to work considerably harder to convert those leads. And then you said yourself, Will, half those people are going to leave you anyway. You see what I'm saying? This is not only easier, it's way more profitable, and you're going to make your money faster. So what I'm going to tell you all is this. Spend your time prospecting, not marketing. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
That's another one. You want to take a picture, that's the one you should take a picture of. Because this is what we need to be reminded of every single day. Every single day, we need to remember that we need to prospect more, market less. Less time on Facebook, more time talking to people. Fair enough? By the way, no one asked this. How do you think I made houses? I sold 30 houses my first year in real estate, 30 plus houses. Prospecting.
Marketing.
Right, yeah, marketing, yeah, I wish. No, like, that'd be like magic. I'd be selling out arenas. I talked to every single person I knew about real estate. That's what I did. If I sat back waiting for it, I wouldn't have made it out of my first year. In fact, I will go as far as to say this. If Zillow existed when I got into real estate, I probably wouldn't have made it out of my first year. When I got into real estate, I had about 3 months of savings. I jumped in with both feet. I had about 3 months of savings. If I had the opportunity to buy leads that somebody told me that these people are ready to buy, I mean, they're signing up over the look, I would have bought them. And I would have run out of money, and I would have walked into my broker's office and said, Roger, tell me you haven't heard this one. I need to quit, I need to go, I can't, this isn't working out, I need to go get a real job. Don't you love that one? Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? I need to get a real, because what we do isn't real work. Okay? So those things bug me. What's that?
When you really do it, it's harder than a real job.
You better believe it is, but it's more rewarding too. You know what I mean? You can make a lot of money selling real estate if you do it right. All right, very quickly, are there any questions? We have 15 minutes left. Any questions?
When
When am I coming back? I'm sorry? You're going to get lunch? Okay. He's going to get lunch, everybody.
Oh, what about our lunch?
It's for everybody. It is for you.
Oh,
Except for Will, right?
So, right, when
Yes.
are you coming back?
Well, I'm not sure yet. That'd be up to you. That'd be up to all of you. That'd be up to all of you. Can I erase this, by the way? Or do we get that
Yeah.
wrapping up here? No, I have a couple more. One more thing I really need to talk about. One more section. Am I boring? Oh, you have a question? Fire away. My sales experience? That's a good question. Before I was a realtor, my only sales experience was I was a furniture salesman at one of those big furniture superstores, but that was years before. Yeah. I find real estate is not really selling, to be honest with you. Real estate is lead generation, lead conversion, and then awesome customer service. That's what you cannot. I don't believe that I'm a good enough realtor to make somebody buy a house who isn't ready to buy a house. And I don't want somebody to buy the wrong house. You know what I'm saying? So those are like the sales skills. These skills, I truly believe, are different. Our skills here are, can I capture the lead? Can I convert the lead? And then, like I said, if I give great customer service, and if I stay in touch with you and keep reminding you that I'm there, you're gonna refer me. And referral is easy. Referral is the easiest way of doing business. When I was selling, okay, I was at DeFelice Realtors up in Rhode Island. That's where I started my career. And I was selling, like I said, over 100 houses a year. The next closest guy to me was selling about 50, 55 houses a year. If you ever came into the office and watched us, you would swear he was selling 100 plus and I was selling 50 because he was running around 1 million miles an hour. By the way, he only lasted in the industry for 4 years. He burned out. And I'll tell you why. That's a very good question. I was working the referral side of the street. He was constantly chasing the hand waivers. And at some point in time, you need to stop chasing. Yeah, I'm serious. Look, I know I'm
That's
a
a
trainer
good-
to say this. At some point, you gotta stop chasing.
Serious.
Okay? At some point, you have to stop and say, wait a minute, this is madness. What I need to do is just keep building the database. If I add that extra 50 every year, and I get top of mind from them every year, I increase it by 5 sales a year. But I'm increasing it by more than 5 sales a year because now these people give me more referrals. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, listen, by the way, I want to make something perfectly clear. I am not telling you to stop doing open houses, and I'm not telling you to stop chasing the leads like an the leads that you're stealing from the office. Keep chasing it.
All day.
Chase the leads. Look, a good realtor. Remember I had that thing on the board that said target and hand waiver? A good realtor is good at one or the other. A great realtor can do both. You understand?
Mhm.
You don't have to be great at either, but you have to be good at both, and that'll make you great. With one asterisk, you have to give great customer service because it's all about referrals. There's no good in them remembering you if you were awful. Okay, at that point you want them to forget you. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that you give great service. If you do that and you get top of mind, you're going to make a lot more money. That's all there is to it. What's the final question you should all be wondering right now? How do I get top of mind? What do I have to do?
What program are you trying to sell
I
me?
am going to sell you. Here's what
What program are you trying to sell me right now?
Today.
Let me see it.
First of all, I want you to know, for the first 6 months, it's half, no, I'm just kidding.
That's like what I told you guys at the beginning.
I am that guy, ha ha. I don't really work for Home Ranger, rip off this guy. Market leader, ha ha, I fooled you. Okay,
Who told Jeff?
that's why I waited till he went, that's why he went for pizza. All right, Jeff's out of here, all right, here's what I really work for.
Screw him and mortgages.
If you want to get a mortgage, go ahead, but you all need this product. No, here's the thing, I don't care what CRM you use, I care what you do with it. So first of all, did anybody notice I kept saying a specific amount of times that you have to reach out to people and to get top of mind? Did anybody notice I haven't said how many that is yet?
4 times the word.
4 times a month. That'd be like 52 a year. 50 a year. What do you think? Does that sound right?
Can you see it again, please?
How many times do I need to reach out to the person to get that top of mind that we were talking about? What do you think? I have 50. 4 a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you said 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
It depends on.
12. Depends.
Sengador.
The 2 politicians here. I'm not answering that question.
Sengador follow-ups in your day.
What's the next question again?
The question is, how many times a year do you have, according to all that research, Baylor, all these other people, how many times a year do you need to reach out to get and maintain top of mind?
200 times a year? Are you stalking those?
80.
It's a little off the mark. 30.
30?
30 at a minimum. 30 at a minimum. Did you say stalking them?
You go 200 times a year.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking 200 people.
200 people,
Yeah,
yes.
there's a lot there.
So you need to reach out to people at least 30 times a year. Now, you know why I didn't say that number earlier? Half of you would have mentally turned me off. I'm not doing that. That's gonna bother people. That's gonna bother people. I'm not doing that. It doesn't matter what else this guy says. That's gonna bother people, therefore I'm not doing it. That's the limiting belief and the negative mindset that I have to battle every day in my job. That is the mindset that is like people like Happy Grasshopper can make a ton of money for 2 years. We immediately assume that's gonna bother people, yet I haven't even said what those 30 touches are yet. Everybody with me on that? We don't know what they are, but probably half this room has already been like, nope, I'm not doing that, too many. I sold 33 houses my first year, okay? I sold 33 houses my first year. I did it by constantly talking to people about real estate. I did not lose. Don't worry about it. Now, with that said, let's try to open our minds a little bit. I'm going to tell you what this campaign looks like, and here's what I would like you to do. Take off your real estate hats. I don't want you to be the people that are doing this. I want you to be the people that are receiving it. Fair enough? So basically, this is going to be a combination of emails, postcards, in quotes, sphere calls, that's an A, sphere calls, sphere of influence calls in other words, in written thank you notes, and a personal touch like their birthday. Okay? So now again, here we go. Is it going to bother you if once a month I send you an email?
Holidays.
What's that?
Holidays.
Holidays?
Holiday emails.
Holiday emails.
Doesn't matter, once a month I'm sending you an email, whatever it may be. Is that gonna bother anybody? Yes, it will mention real estate, most likely. It'll even have your company's logo on it, I'm crazy like that. I think if I wanna remind people that I'm in real estate, it should probably be there. 12 of those, so it's not bothering anybody. Once a month, you reach into your mailbox, you get a postcard from me. Now, other than the fact that you're about to throw it out, it probably cost me like $1 to send it to you, is it gonna bother you that I send you a postcard once a month? No. 4 times a year, 4 times a year, with your permission, can we spend 1 minute or less talking about real estate? In other words, is it gonna bother you to talk to me about real estate 4 minutes a year?
No.
I love to pause here because the room gets very quiet. Because you know the answer is no, but you don't want to say it. So here's the thing. To the people who are thinking it will bother them, here's what I'm going to ask you. Well, it's going to bother people. Okay. Here's what I want to ask you. Think of the last time you picked up your phone and you called somebody. friend, family member, whatever, for something social, like, hey, let's go out, let's do something. Before you made that call, did you stop and say, I hope I don't bother them? You see what I'm saying? The call doesn't bother them, it bothers us to make it, not them to receive it. Everybody with me on this? Okay, I'm gonna talk more about that in just a couple of minutes. Now, I'll tell you what I say on that call, because obviously, this is just a hornet's nest of limiting beliefs, isn't it? Right? This is what we cannot get realtors to do. We also can't get loan officers to do it. You don't think I go over this with Jeff all the time? But Jeff, you never came off the phone. But none of these are prospecting calls, right? I mean, spare calls, you know? We can't get financial advisors to do it, and nobody wants to make their phone calls, okay? So I'm gonna go with what the call is. When the call is done, I'm gonna hang up the phone, I'm gonna send out a handwritten thank you note that says, hey, Will, thanks for taking a minute to help me grow my real estate business. I hope you realize how much this means to me. If I can ever return the favor, please don't hesitate to ask. Is it gonna bother you if you get that in a postcard along with one business card from me?
No.
No. And if I call you up or text you on your birthday, is that gonna bother anybody? No. How many birthdays do we have? 36. By the way, how many touches is that?
It's a lot of touches.
33. But if none of those bothered you, I'm gonna ask you again, does touching people at least 30 times a year bother people? You know who it bothers? It bothers the realtor for having to do it. It bothers the realtor. Everybody with me on this? Okay, let's talk about that phone call. That spare call is important, and it's what most of us don't want to do. And again, I do a 9-hour course, well actually 6-hour course if I do it all in one day, on how to set up a database to do all of these things and to eliminate all of the limiting beliefs that come with this. Okay? That's what I used to go around the country teaching. Let's talk about that phone call. Okay, so first of all, like I said, at the beginning of this class, I said, I am here to earn business for Jeff. Because that can't be a secret. If it's a secret, there's no sense in me being here, right? Which reminds me, you all have a card on you? You're gonna need one, okay? All right. So basically, the phone call is gonna be a pretty direct call. So first I'm gonna call up and I'm gonna say, again, there are words in a script that you may not like. But that's okay, because the more you say the script, the more used to the words you will become. So you may not like it when I first say it, but I promise you, if you try it, you'll be fine. You will be fine with it. So basically, I'm just going to say to them, what's your first name again? Gudnor?
Yes.
Gudnor. Hey, Gudnor. If I said that right, sorry. This is Greg. How you doing?
I'm great, how are you doing?
I'm good. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yes.
All right, good. Hey, listen, this is a business call. It's only going to take a minute. I have a lot of other calls that listen to that.
It was a personal call.
I never said it was a personal call. Again, a sphere call is a business. Remember, I have the word sphere in parentheses because it is a business call. And it's a business call for a specific reason. That specific reason is I need people to understand that I treat my business like a business. You may, and by the way, when I said these words you're going to hate, that's the one right there. I know you're not going to like it, but you will see how important it is as you move through, start making your phone calls, right? So I'm going to say, hey, Gudnor. Okay, this is Greg. How you doing?
Great.
Good. I'm good, thanks. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yes.
Great. Hey, listen, this is a business call. It's only going to take a minute because I have a lot of other calls that I have to get to. But one of the things that I do to fuel my real estate business is call the people I know every now and then and ask them for a little bit of help. Would it be okay if I asked you for some help every now and then?
Sure.
There's the permission I'm looking for. By the way, did you notice something else? I did not pause until I was ready for her to answer. Did you notice that or not? If I have to take a breath, I'll take it in the middle of a sentence when she knows who said I'm not answering. Because here's the thing. When we pause during a script, that's an audible cue for the other person to talk. So if you pause in the wrong place before you get to your point or your question, that script can go anywhere on you. Okay? So, one of the things that I do to fuel my real estate business is to ask the people I know for a little bit of help every now and then. Would it be okay if I asked you for some help?
Sure.
Great. Can we start right now?
Okay.
All right, cool. Who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate?
Well, I don't know.
Don't go easy. Tell me no one. Good. Okay. Because again, I'm going to talk about why I want her to say no one in just a second. That's all right. By the way, there's that crushing rejection that we're all afraid of. But here's the thing. What's the purpose of those 33 things there? To get me a lead or to get me top of mind?
Top of mind.
Top of mind. So by making the call, there is no rejection. I accomplished my task. You understand? So asking for lead is what I do to make sure they understand I work by referral. I'm not actually expecting her to give me a lead. Leads come as a result of the outgoing call in the form of an incoming call. When you're making your spare calls, if you're making thinking, oh man, I'm not getting any leads, this is useless, you're thinking wrong. You're not making the call for leads. You're making the call for top of mind. Top of mind gets you leads. That doesn't mean that every now and then you're not going to call and someone say, oh my God, Greg, that's amazing timing. I was just talking to one of my friends at work and he said he's got to sell his house. But that will happen, but don't expect that to happen. Does that make sense to everyone? So basically, I'm going to go through the whole script one more time. Notice when I pause. Ready? Gunnar. Hi, Gunnar, it's Greg. How you doing?
Great.
Good. Did I catch you at a good time?
Yes.
Great. Listen, this is a business call. It's only going to take a minute. I have a lot of other calls that I have to get to. But one of the things that I do to fuel my real estate business, this is where I breathe, is call the people I know and ask them for a little bit of help. Would it be okay if I ask you for a little help every now and then?
Sure, go ahead.
Great. Can we start right now? All right. Who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate?
Well, Greg, I don't know anyone yet.
That's all right. Thanks for taking a minute to think about it. Can you do me a favor? If you do think of someone, or if you hear of somebody down the road, can you give me a call and let me know who they are, and I'll tell them that Gunnar said I better take extra good care of them?
Okay, sure.
Great, thanks a lot. Could you all make that phone call if you had to?
No.
No? How come?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, they said no, okay.
There's no one
nothing
else, I
hard, there's
guess.
nothing, there's nothing hard about the call, there's nothing aggressive about the call. What we're saying is, look, I'm a realtor, and if you know anyone who's looking for real estate help, they can me. Right? It's not a bad, it's not a hard thing to say, we just don't like making the phone calls. We'll come up with a million reasons not to make that phone call, but as you can see, it's not a hard call to make. And each time you make it, the call gets a little easier. Right, so I finish that call, I hang up the phone, I write the handwritten thank you note, right, Dave Gunnar, thank you for helping me grow my real estate business. I hope you realize how much that means to me, and if I can ever return a favor, please don't hesitate to ask. And I send it out to her. Now she revisits the phone call again. These two things right here are the main thrust of how you actually get that top of mind. And make sure that they understand you work by referral. But now the next time, hey, Gunnar, it's Greg. Remember I said I was going to call you every now and then and ask you for a little bit of help? Well, guess what? It's that time. Who do you know is looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Geez, Greg, I still don't know anybody. That's all right. Thanks for taking a minute to think about it. Remember, if you do think of anybody, give me a call, okay? As time goes on, it just becomes shorter and shorter. It'll get to the point where you're going to pick up the phone and she's going to say, Greg, is it that time again? And you're going to say, yes, it is. Who do you know? And she's going to say, nobody yet, but I'll call you when I do. That is top of mind right there. It only comes from repeatedly making the call, though. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
So you were right. It's 4 phone calls, once a quarter. But we want to put some marketing behind it so that during those months that we're not calling, they're not totally forgetting about us. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I like the 200 idea best. The more touches, the better. That's all there is to it. The faster you're going to get top of mind, the more touches. Now,
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm like thinking about all this, and I feel like one thing that's not being taken into account is
Mhm.
the generational switch, like where I feel like some millennials, like they don't want to talk on the phone.
that's not true. That is what a lot of people go through and say, but that is simply not true. Every generational switch,
I think that what happens is if I call someone, they text me back.
maybe, that's fine, but you get no response.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not like
Mhm.
it's a different kind of.
Sometimes. But that could be anybody. I have a 52-year-old brother who, when I call him, he texts me back too. Here's the thing, we're going through a generational transition right now, and every time we do, this new generation makes no sense, blah, 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 we don't understand, they do everything different. And you know what, every single generation, like when I'm Generation X, and basically when I get into real estate, the Gen X's were buying the houses, and I was hearing all the same things I hear about the millennials now, I was hearing about the Gen X's then. And the people who are, who are doing it longer, we're hearing the same things. It just keeps going on and on and on, and I hear it a lot. And again, it's one of those things that a lot of people are using that limiting belief, and I'm sorry, but that's what it is. They're using that limiting belief to make it okay not to make your phone calls. And here's the bottom line. I have one of my realtor friends' sons. We become like very friendly, right? Kind of he's been calling me since he was 12 years old. It's like he didn't really have a father and stuff, so talked to him a lot. When he turned like 16, 17 and started calling me on his own, if I ever called him, his email wasn't even set up, not his email, his voicemail wasn't even set up on his phone. Wouldn't have it. When he turned like, 18, 19, he had voicemail, but he never checked it. Now he's 23 years old and he's in the workforce. Guess what? He has a phone, he uses it, he checks his email, and he calls people back. There are times where many times he and I will text back and forth. But like I said, I text. Anything be the reason why you're not going to allow yourself to pick up the phone and call. Okay? If you have a person who says, don't call me, text me, then text that person. But otherwise, this whole generation thing, this whole, millennial thing, like I said, I wish I was at this, and I'm running over now, I'm sorry. But I hear that a lot, and I wish I could have recorded this. I was at a leadership conference for Homebridge, and they brought in this guy who was the national president of one of the huge banks, Wells Fargo, actually. He was like retired, he'd done it years ago, before they had all their troubles. And he had this book with him, right? It was this leather-bound book, and he had notes from his meetings. And he pretty much, what are the challenges? Product quiet. The bottom line is, no offense, every generation we hear that exact same thing. And every generation, huge corporations like this one have meetings. How do we relate to this new